The map is Whirlwind, Ladder Edition, spawning in the bottom left-hand position. As the orange Protoss once again from SK Telecom T1, his name is Bisu.
So let's meet his opponent on the opposite side of the map, spawning as a blue Zerg on the top right corner. His name is ALBM, playing for Kespa teammate.
Whirlwind, this is one of the maps that generally leads to more macro-style games, and in the matches we saw Bisu play for Protoss versus Zerg, I would say they were maybe, they would end around the middle game, not necessarily go to super late game. So, how do you think this map will play out when it comes to him?
Well, we're going to have to see what Bisu actually prepared, because he does have the pylon in the main base, so let's see how he opens up in this match. Remember, back in Fighting Spirit against Action, he did go for the gateway first inside the main base, and then utilized the one gas, and then took an expansion for himself.
So we could definitely see a gateway expand build from Bisu. You know, maybe even see the Forge into Nexus without scouting build, or sorry, Nexus then Forge in the main without scouting, but the ramp is a bit wide here, and there we go. There goes the gateway from Bisu, so he will be going for that gateway expand opening.
So what you can do with this build is get the Zealot out, get the Mothership Core out, and if you know that there's no hidden Zerglings around the main base or at your own natural, you could go for a poke a little bit, try to get maybe 1 or 2 drones, try to get a queen while taking an expansion for yourself, take the 2 gateways down at your natural to get the wall off while getting the force, and also go for really fast tech. So you get all these different choices that you can go for, and it really depends on what Bisu decides to do today.
Yeah, man, it's all about decisions, what you want to do here. Hatchery going down for ALBM. After the pool, though, something important to note here. Basically, Whirlwind's a large map. Some Zerg players, they do like to opt for that hatchery first style, but if you want to play as safe as possible while still having a solid economic opening, you just get that pool down first, then go for the hatchery.
Yeah, and we've even seen one of the players getting cannon rush on this map, so some of these players are aware of that, going for the 14 pull, trying to make sure that the cannon does not take out the hatchery.
Yeah, Bisu getting a second gas here, also his core about to complete. No Zealot on the way yet, though, so we may see him go for a fast Stalker. Also, Warp Gate on the way here.
So he's going to just try to squeeze out a Mothership Core and then use that to defend against the Zerglings, and only going to make units after checking out how many Zerglings his opponent made. So he's getting the Nexus for himself, his opponent getting a third base, but just to talk about Bisu a little bit more, yes, the Mothership Core is out, and once he sees, if he sees more than 2 Zerglings, I would expect him to actually get a Zealot out or get a Stalker out for extra defense. If not, then he doesn't really need to make one. In fact, he's going to go for the Sentry.
Getting a sentry there, following the Mothership Core that just completed here for Bisu. He will be able to use that to scare away that scouting Zergling. And ALBM also sees the expansion going down. He doesn't know about the Warp Gate timing. He can assume it's probably being researched by now, but he doesn't really know how fast it's going to complete. And another thing I want to point out about this build, Warp Gate's about halfway done. 2 gates are down as well, so this is a potential 3-gate pressure from Bisu.
Yeah, this is how you open up, actually. You know, the 2 gateways are there for 2 reasons. One, for the pressure, but the other reason is because you need to wall off at the natural eventually, because you're playing against a Zerg player.
That's
and
true.
If you don't wall off against a Zerg player, then I don't know what matchup you're playing, really.
That's very true, man. Very true. I agree with you. Looks like we have a Stargate on the way as well from Bisu here, so I'm really interested to see what kind of a pressure he's going to apply here eventually. If he's going to go for the gateway opening, it's generally safe to assume that we may see some type of pressure coming from the Protoss player. And another probe being sent out here. We could maybe see some proxy pylons. There's a proxy pylon right there, just as I mentioned it. And I think he's going to try to apply some pressure on this third base here.
So now we have an Oracle coming out. We haven't seen that much Oracle in PvZ because the Queens, they could take out the Oracle so easily, and the Protoss players, they are having some time, hard time microing the Oracle against the Queen. So now we have the Oracle coming out by Bisu, and that's what he's going to utilize here. He's going to go for the 3-gate pressure plus the Oracle. So he's going to use the Zealot to take out the Queen, or at least get the health down, and then use the Oracle to finish it off while killing extra drones.
All right, we have 22 Zerglings on the way from ALBM here. He is in absolute panic mode. Think about all that larva that could be spent on the drones here, and now the Queen doing its best to micro away. Oracle is on the way, though. That Queen, it's going to get taken out there.
Here's the biggest problem. If he actually doesn't have any queens, he has no answer against the Oracles. He didn't see the Stargate. Well, now he's getting a Spore Caller down, but the Oracle is almost there. The Spore is not going to finish in time against the Oracle.
All right, now it's going to be up to Bisu to properly micro this, not against the Queen, but to try to set as many drones as possible. We have 5, 6, 7 going down, up to 8. That Oracle already worth it, even though it does die. Think about all of the larva that ALBM has essentially wasted on Zerglings, and now he has to remake drones over anything else that he could want right now, and his lair not even complete yet.
He even lost the Queen in that engagement, so all Bisu has to do right now is defend against the Zerglings and possible Roach counter all-in attack, because he did see the Roach Whirlwind, so he just needs to make sure he puts down some well-placed cannons at the natural and get some sentries out.
Look at this, the 3 sentries and the Mothership Core completely, and even a pylon there, the wall off that natural, so he is completely safe against any type of counterattack, and it looks like ALBM realizes this. The Phoenix trying to move in, and interestingly, only using 2, 3 into Phoenix. Now a third one coming in to try to take out this Queen, but I did see another Queen nearby from ALBM, but will Bisu get this Queen? It looks like it is going to go down.
Well, it is. Some people say, you know, if you only have 3 Phoenixes, it's not worth it because you got to live twice. But if the Queen is out of the position from the Spore Caller, and if you don't see any additional Spore Caller coming in, just go for it. There's not going to be any units to take out the Phoenix, and it's a free kill on the Queen. Just go for it instead of, you know, hesitating to go for it. Also getting an Observer, really nice play. You know, Bisu, he was known for his Corsair micro back in Brood War. I think this is the reason why he favors the gateway opening. He could get the Stargate about 30 seconds before, after getting the Forge Passage ban, and he's just utilizing the Stargate units to the fullest potential today.
Indeed he is. Unfortunately, a little bit of a miss micro there from Bisu, losing 1 Phoenix, but still, we have about 11 drones killed total. Hydralisks are on the way now from our Zerg player ALBM, but we have a robotics about to finish for Bisu here, so he will be prepared for this eventual Hydra attack from his opponent ALBM. More nice little micro there from Bisu, sniping off 2 more drones, and things are looking pretty good for our SK Telecom Protoss player.
As long as he could defend against the Hydras coming out, and as long as he can get the Colossus out in time, he will be completely fine in this game. The most scary part about PvZ these days is the Roach plus Hydra combination, and when it actually gets inside the main base.
We have a big Zergling run by in Bisu's base here. A big mistake from him. Even the probes are now forced off the mineral line, and those Zerglings are doing a lot of damage. And now in the main mineral line, there's only 1 Stalker, which is going to get killed almost instantly here. More probes trying to attack, but so many worker losses are going to happen here from Bisu, and this pretty much put ALBM, I feel like, ahead and in a really strong position.
You know, he actually put the Zealot, but it was 1 hex away. It was 1 hex away, and that's all he needed. And here comes the Hydras. The Colossus is on the way, but he doesn't have the sentries in position. He pretty much needs to ditch the 3rd base if he doesn't have the Colossus out in time. He needs to survive in this game because he just lost so many probes. He needs to come back to his natural.
All right, the Hydras are moving out now. No speed quite yet for them, but this attack, it's going to be very hard to deal with here. Bisu moving his units back. He's going to need great, fantastic force fields. Nice time warp going on there. That's going to definitely help out those Zealots against that Hydra army. But the problem is the Zerg DPS here, very dangerous. The Colossus is now out, but will it be enough to stop this Hydra attack from ALBM? 42 Zerglings are now on the way. We do have a few more Zealot reinforcements, but with good micro, Bisu may be able to hold, but with these reinforcement Hydras, it's going to be very hard for our Protoss player to hold this attack.
Yeah, really nice control by Bisu and putting down a nice force field, but those force fields aren't infinite. And this is the problem on Whirlwind. When the Zerg player decides to go for the 3rd base instead of the natural. Now the Protoss player is out in the open field. He's trying to defend against those Zerglings at the 3rd base, but Protoss players, they need to ditch the 3rd in this position. Instead, get more gateways down inside the main base, get more Colossus out, and get the 3rd base a little bit later in the game.
And now we have a muted tech switch from ALBM here. A very smart decision making. He's also going to be moving in with these Zerglings and Hydras. We have nice Zealots rolling off there. Excellent force fields, going to roast all of those Zerglings. The Hydralisks are going to be forced back a little bit here, trying to get better positioning. Bisu getting a little bit overeager. He's going to lose one of those Colossus. Unfortunate mistake. Also losing a few sentries as well there. ALBM just pulling ahead. so much right now. And when the Mutas come to the main base of Bisu, I think that's going to be lights out for him.
Thanks to the Zerglings, now ALBM is in such demanding position. All he has to do is go inside the main base with the Mutas. Bisu does spot the Mutas, but he only has one Stargate, so it's going to be a long while before he could get the blink out, before he gets the critical amount of Phoenixes out.
I feel like ALBM could simply do a head-on butt attack with all these units and end the game here. I mean, there's only a small amount of Stalkers to defend against the Mutas. Mutas are moving in there, sniping down those sentries, killing off those Stalkers. The Colossus will certainly be next. Another one pops out, but what does that even matter? What can one Phoenix do against that many Mutas? And now the Zerglings are coming in, the Hydras are coming in as well. The Protoss has no answer for this army.
Yeah, and especially even if he defends against this attack. Okay, there we go. GG. I was about to say, even if he defends against the attack, he doesn't have the third base, which is so crucial at that part of the game.
Yeah, unfortunately for Bisu, letting those Zerglings in, I felt like was essentially him spelling doom for him there. He lost just way too many probes and economy to that attack. 15 probes went down, and after that, Bisu just didn't have the right army composition to deal